Hello, everybody. My name is National Master Jesse Cohen. On behalf of Summit School of Chess, coming at you with a very important lesson on how to calculate deeper, fixing those mistakes in your thinking that you've probably been having. Just got back from chess camp a couple weeks ago, and it really I love working with advanced students so much, and getting to really just focus on chess for a week. It ignites all sorts of different ideas and coaching strategies in my mind, and realizing where the common struggles are for certain players. This lesson is specifically towards like an intermediate player trying to become advanced and beyond. I think that probably many of you are shouting out at the screen right now, Jesse, there is a very, very basic tactic on the board. White goes bishop or rook takes on f6, black plays king takes f6, and white plays knight e4 check, which should fork the king and the rook and win a piece, and we should be able to go on and win that game, knowing that a master typically only needs one pawn to win the game, so an entire piece is winning. So for example, you like rook takes f6, king takes f6, knight e4 check, king e5, knight takes e5. White is up an entire knight and is going to go on to win more material. However, do you really think I'd waste your time with such a simple problem? Of course I would, but I'm not doing that right now. In this position, again, I am betting that 9 out of 10 players would, if they saw rook takes f6, they would probably play it instantaneously. So here is fixing your bad habit number 1. If you are a player who's been training at your tactics and you're starting to find tactics in your own game, I know it's extremely exciting. That skill alone is separating you from the herd significantly. Okay? Those other players, they're just struggling to hold on to their pieces. Just play a full game of chess without accidentally losing their queen. You know what I mean? However, we could get so excited at the possibility of like, oh, I finally have a tactic in my own game, and you just go for it. But as you get more advanced, you're going to start seeing a lot of tactics. Tactics happen left and right all the time. And so you have to slow down. You have to start realizing that when you see a winning idea, you need to stop. You need to go back and fight harder for the opponent. So let's actually go back for a second. If rook takes f6, we already know that if black takes it, they're going to instantaneously lose. So we should at least give them something different. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the concept of desperado, but since black knows that if they take the rook, they're going to lose their own rook, you might as well try to get as much for our rook as we can. So black's best move is actually the in-between move, rook takes c3. And then on top of this, again, so another thing that I was harping on at camp is that intermediate players, listen up closely here, okay? You have a bad habit of robot thinking. What do I mean by this? When you calculate, I bet you, 99% of you, when you calculate, you're like, I take, they take, I take, they take. Or I attack them, they defend. They attack me, I defend. There's always this kind of like, I do this, they do that. And so anytime that somebody attacks, you expect a defense, and anytime that somebody takes, you expect a capture. And that close-minded thinking shuts off the entire possibility of finding the master level idea of Zwischenzugs. Okay? So again, if white's like, well, you took me on c3, I'm just going to take you back robotically, shame. No. Okay, no shame. Sorry. No shame here. This is a learning experience. Yeah, we got to fix that habit. Instead, white should play another Zwischenzug. Since both rooks are hanging, we can desperado one more time. We can take a pawn with check. Which one should we take? If you calculate it all the way out, you'll see that after rook takes e6 check, king takes e6, b takes c3, king to d5, there is nothing white can do to prevent the incoming king c4 and winning our pawns. Let me show you. And in this position, there is nothing white can do to prevent king c4, winning the c-pawns, and winning the game. So it turns out that rook takes f6, rook takes c3, rook takes f7 check is the best intermezzo move since it keeps black's king at bay. So try to imagine this. Rook takes f6, rook takes c3, rook takes f7 check, king takes f7, and finally, there's no more Zwischenzugs, b takes c3. Now, in just a moment, I would like you to pause the video. If you want to be a master, something else you have to be able to do is when you're analyzing a future position, you have to be able to vividly imagine it. Please know, people, that I am one of those individuals who visualizing does not come naturally to. I had to spend many, many hours trying to just imagine like single squares. What color are they? What if a piece was on them? What would it look like? I had to work diligently to work at that skill. So if you're struggling right now, don't give up. Keep pushing in there. I promise it's worth it. But try your best right now to really vividly imagine the final position with just king and pawns on the board. I'm going to tell you right now that white has a winning position. But can you determine why? Pause your video for a second if you haven't. Oh, sorry. Oh, I forgot to say. This is probably very confusing to anyone who's actually watching it. So I do stream on Twitch, and I hope that you're watching right now. Actually, I'll probably check. Let's see if anyone's watching. No one's watching. That's fine. So if anyone comes back to this later, you're more than welcome to. Or, again, I mostly make these for YouTube. So, yeah, hopefully you can pause your video. Anyways, why is white winning? Let's actually see the real position now, okay? Take, check. Has to take back. Again, I know that I said, robot thinking, but there is no Zwischenzug after rook takes f7. King takes f7. Again, there's no Zwischenzug between b takes c3, so b takes c3. Why is this position winning? Some of you might be saying, well, white's up a pawn. Didn't you say, Jesse, that typically a pawn is all you need to win a chess game? This is true. However, let's actually look at that extra pawn. Where is it? It's over here on the queen side. White has a 3-on-2 advantage on the queen side. But let's actually pretend, how are we going to try and make a passed pawn into a queen? You can't. If you push this pawn, it gets stuck. If you push this pawn, it gets stuck or killed. And even after takes, there is no arrangement that white can make with the white pawns alone that will force a win here. So why is white actually winning? The truth is that another very, very advanced concept. Well, I don't know if it's very, very advanced, but it's at least somewhat advanced. The concept of outside passed pawn. Let's go a bit forward. If you're not sure what you should do in this position, activating your king is usually a giveaway. King activation, towards the center, towards the center. Once the kings get fully activated, now it's time to see who can make a passed pawn first. Here's the deal. White has an unbroken kingside pawn majority. 2-on-1. Black already has a passed pawn on e6. The truth is that given enough time, white is going to start pushing these pawns and eventually be able to create a passed pawn either on the H or the G file. And when that happens, black will need to stop it by getting the king over there. Eventually, white will allow black to take the passed pawn over on the king side in exchange for letting go of their passed pawn on e6. And when that finally happens, because the remaining pawns still on the board are so much closer to white, white ends up winning. Let's see an example of this. b5, g4, king f6, h4, king g6, king f4, king f6. King e4, king g6, king e5, king f6, g5, king e7, h5, king f7, and now finally just g6 check. You could probably play h6 if you really want to try to get away with something. You could play like h6, and then if here, then this is a neat move. However, you would have to calculate this as well, which might be annoying if they can actually win there and push here faster, which actually they probably can. So g6 check, here. And finally, the situation I was talking about. Black will take our passed pawn. We will take their passed pawn. But because our passed pawn, so let's go back here. because our passed pawn is the farthest away, if I could draw straight lines, from the remaining pawns, white will be closer to go in and clean up. So take, and then, the fun begins. Come on over, eat some pawns, yum, 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 eating the pawns, and eventually it's just too much, and black just cannot get back at this point. There's nothing left, okay? So again, the reason I show this is for so many reasons. Position training is a top level idea. If you don't know this, one of the best ways to train at chess is to find quality positions and truly understand why they're so valuable. This position is something I got out of top level grandmaster Lev Albert top level grandmaster coach Lev Albert's book, 300 Most Important Positions Pocket Chess Book. He argues that not only is position training essential, not all positions are created the same. Some positions have a lot more value, and this is one of those positions. Again, so many players here would simply, see the simple fork and go for it. They would miss the Zwischenzugs. They would miss the outside pass pawn. They would miss the complexities of this position. So again, if you want to take those steps from going to intermediate/advanced into advanced/mastery, you have to identify the robotic habits you have in your thinking patterns, and you need to pause and try to do something different in a real game. This means when you're playing your game next time and you're like thinking ahead, I take them, they take, oh, hold on. Do they have an in-between move? Do they have to just take back? Or if they take me, do I have to just, or if they attack me, I defend. Oh, wait. And before I just defend, do I have an in-between move? Okay. Do I have a way to just flat out ignore my opponent? If you want to move into advanced levels, you have to cut out robotic thinking. Okay. I know it's gotten you pretty far. All that structure, it saves you time and energy. This takes more time and energy, but it takes more time and energy to become a more advanced player. So the challenge is out there. Anyways, I've talked long enough. Hope you've enjoyed this. National Master Jesse Cohen, Summit School of Chess. See you later.